on the passenger side car where my son is sitting. Just runs up, just doing that. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I started to ignore her to continue to back up. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was an approach I just wasn't trying to do. So I'm continuing to back up, and she's still going even harder. So then I wind down the window. Unfortunately, she was on the day side, so I kind of cracked the window because she couldn't put her hand out. I didn't know what was going on. And she's like, I'm going in labor. Can you give me 55 cents? What? And I'm like, what? She's like, I'm in labor. I need 55 cents so I can catch a cab to the hospital. I'm in labor. And I'm like,
55 cents?
What? And first of all, you in the cab. You trying to play me. First of all, you trying to play me. I get it.
If you want to hear more of the Shots and Shenanigans radio show on BeExposedRadio.com, tune in every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern.
You're listening to the station with their ear to the streets. BeExposedRadio.com.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait. Mom, what? Huh?
What?
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
I know it's on. I gotta find it. I know that bitch talking about somebody. Oh my gosh, what channel? What station? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna miss it.
I mean, that bitch always talking about somebody. I don't know what's going on.
I know. Remember what he said about me?
He always talking about somebody.
As soon as somebody ready to stop to him, he get quiet. Lies. Now it's my turn to talk. Talk Lately starts now.
You are right. It is, what's today's date? August the 16th? 7:01. Right here on BeExposedRadio.com. Look, I had a whole entire agenda set up for today, but my panel fell through because they're late. As they want to be. All of them. Nicole's late.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, oh gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now. Afternoon, this is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange radio show, with my co-host, Mr. Damon Hall, Hollywood Hall. I said it right.
Yeah, it's Hall.
Hall.
Yeah.
We're joining you today on this April 1st. Something's up too loud. So welcome back. Welcome back. Today we have the Artist Compound in the building. So definitely stay tuned for that. They'll be here around 12:30. We have Mr. Connor Brendan and Mr. Guy Grams. They'll be joining us. They're both members of the Artist Compound. And if you did not know, the first Saturday of every month, we host various artists under the Artist Compound organization, and they bring in a couple of artists or a group or whatever the configuration is. They bring them in, and you get to meet those artists and learn a little bit more about the Artist Compound and what they're doing around the city. Don't forget, Residue, the movie, will be premiering April the 6th at the Charles Theater. Admission is $20. You can contact Tammy for tickets at 443-416-6885 for more information on that. Also, don't forget that the Wiz will be opening up at Spotlighters, not at Morgan State University, but at Spotlighters on April 7th. That's next Friday. Directed by Miss Tracy Jiggets. Spotlighters have a very interesting and very solid background. For tickets, you can go to www.spotlighters.org, or their address is 817 St. Paul Street, or you can call them at 410-752-1225. If you're listening to us, I don't know how you may be listening to us, but remember, you can listen to us via Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Don't forget to subscribe to our page, the Artist Exchange, or Be Exposed's page, Be Exposed Radio's fan page on Facebook, or the Artist Exchange Radio Show on Facebook. We also have a group on Facebook called the Artist Exchange. It is basically a message board, a place for you to meet other artists from various cities, various spots and backgrounds in the arts. So definitely start putting your information in there. Let people know who you are. I like for people to like post their bios and who they are, just as an introduction, because you never know who's looking at that thread. I get a lot of messages for certain types of artists. I get a lot of messages for certain types of gigs that people are offering. So definitely post your information in the group. Don't be afraid. Network, showcase who you are. So that is some of the arts news. On another note, any given day of the week, from Monday to Sunday, sun up to sundown, there's something going on in the arts. Right now, this weekend, our big event for the city is the Light City Festival, which started yesterday, is today and tomorrow. Take a look. Go down to the harbor. This is your city. Don't feel like it's only for tourists. It is designated for you. It's coming from your taxpayer dollars, so definitely take part in it. So it's various events. It's better if you go at night. There's some things going on during the daytime, workshops, conversations, concerts, so on and so forth. But the event itself, the light aspect of the Light City Festival, it's better if you go like in the evening time. It's plenty of, I'm not gonna say parking, because parking downtown is amazing. So go to a parking ride, park your car, get on a light rail or one of the circulators or the bus system, subway, and come downtown. The weather isn't too bad. It's supposed to be like 50, so bundle up a little bit because you could be by the water, so it's gonna be a little bit cooler. Come take part in it. I know there are a number of acts. I think Biz Marquee is supposed to be there. Go to their website, lightcitybaltimore.org, or you go to the Baltimore City's page and definitely take part. Or if you just come down to the harbor, there are plenty of people with maps and so on and so forth, because it stretches to Harbor East and it starts at the inner harbor and it goes across. So there are various different communities that are hosting this event. So come take part in it. There's a lot of light attractions, spectacles that's going on.
Yes, it's going to be I went last year, and actually it was an amazing experience. There was so many people out there, lights, music. So, and plus you got the Pavilion 1, Pavilion 2. We can get some food. So it's really just come out. It's going to be amazing.
And there is a lot more organized this year. There are a lot more local acts in it. They have got a very diverse group of individuals that are performing this year. A lot of exhibits, a lot of workshops, conversations going on. So definitely take part of that. So again, any given day of the week, if you have a Facebook page, go to your event section and you'll see. I don't know how many event requests I got yesterday, but it's always something going on. Don't say it's not going on. You don't know what's happening, so on and so forth. It's always something going on in the city. So don't underwrite yourself and just get out and do something. Again, today we'll have Mr. Guy Grams and Mr. Connor Brendan of the Artist Compound organization joining us today. Again, if you want, why is my thing up so high? If you want to be a part of this show, definitely hit me up, the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We have awesome opportunities for our advertisement as well as sponsorship to help you promote your brand, your business, your service, your artistry, your business in general on a very unique platform. So definitely take part in it. Let us know what we can do to help you, and reach out to me, the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. You can reach me directly at Nathan Couser at AOL.com. Yes, people still have AOL. It never failed me, so I'm going to just continue rocking it. But hit me up. We have some awesome opportunities coming up for artists, for business owners, so definitely take part in it. Don't forget to give us a call, 410-702-5657, or you can text us at 443-642-9403. Lastly, if you're watching, I've been trying to say this, but if you're watching on YouTube Live, do us a favor, share out the show, let people know what's going on here. We're approaching our 3rd year here on Be Exposed Radio, and I am very excited. There are a number of things coming up with the brand of the Artist Exchange, some awesome partnerships. Mr. Damon has joined us, so some interesting things are about to happen. So take part. If you're looking for a radio show, hit us up, info@beexposedradio.com. That's info@beexposedradio.com. We have some very affordable packages for not only potential radio show hosts, but also sponsorships and advertisement on the station. So check us out, www.beexposedradio.com. Subscribe, like us, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, like us, so you always know when the shows are coming up. The Artist Exchange is every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Like Artist Compound, we are opening our doors to organizations and artists alike to come on and partner with us and share what you do with our audience. If you're looking to be featured for an interview or a spotlight of some nature, definitely hit me up. And again, the last event that I have coming up, well, not the last, but one event on the 6th, kind of at the same time, but I'll just say it. So at the Hotel RL, the first Thursday of every month, I've been hosting a live interview series with various DMV artists, business owners, community leaders. This one coming up, we have AJ DeVoice Taylor. He's an inspirational rapper, poet, writer, artist. And then we have Mastermind, a genius. Mastermind is a phenomenal producer, engineer, but he's also a rapper and a performer himself. So definitely come on out. You'll get a nice cross-section, a nice blend of music, interviewing. It's hosted by myself, Nate Couser, and Miss Be Inspired from the Be Inspired Radio Show. That's 7 p.m. at Hotel RL. Come on out, show your face, a live music. They have a bar, so you can have a nice happy hour, some nice vittles to go along with it. So come on out. Yeah. And today's show, it's all about the artistry, and we'll be interviewing 2 musicians. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm trying to do a time check. Got a couple more minutes. So this is not the subject matter for today, but it's definitely something that is pressing on me. We have to maintain our lane.
Yeah.
If we stay focused on what the next person is doing, we'll never get anywhere. And where you end up may be so far from your goal.
Right.
It's not funny. There was a meme, and I really enjoyed the meme a lot because they're two swimmers looking as if they're in a competition, and they're both in their lane. One swimmer is swimming, going ahead, and he's ahead. The second swimmer is looking over at the first swimmer, and he's behind him. And it just said so much to me. It didn't even need words.
Right.
But it just said so much to me. Focus on your lane. Do what it is that you're here to do, because what happens is when we focus on other parts, or other people, or whatever somebody else is doing, or what somebody else is saying, we are knocked off of our focus and off our path.
Right.
And it becomes a kind of a vicious cycle within us as individuals, because then we get bitter because I'm not where you are. Right. And not only am I bitter, but I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
So now I'm doing things that don't match up to what I want to do just to catch up to a person. And then you become really sneaky and undercutting, and you begin to put your mouth and your words onto other people's circumstances and situations and persons. And it gets ugly, and I see it so much. That's why I really limit my social media intake. Right. I really have a really tight, small group of people. So small, it's sometimes just me in my space, because I can't take people you can't even be happy for yourself. So I can't expect for you to be happy for somebody else. And I don't like coming in here like preaching and going to the negative, but I'm noticing this, and it is not going away.
Right.
You know, it's too many people focused on the wrong things,
right, and
other people's goals. It's enough room for everybody to succeed,
right,
and get through this and be better at this. And you don't have to dim somebody or shrink somebody in order to make yourself feel good.
Right.
You don't have to do it. And I talked about a little bit about the production that I'm in, but it wasn't to bash anybody. It has to stop. At some point, you have to focus on what it is that you're here for, and do that thing.
Right.
And be that thing. Because if we focus too much on how somebody else got to where we want to go,
right, then you'll try to follow their path, and then because their path is not your path.
It's not.
So, like, you know what I'm saying, just pretty much it's like, like your greatness is for you, and their greatness is for them.
Yep.
So just because they won first place don't mean you're going to get anything from it.
Right.
If you're seeking to get where he's at, what you do, you prepare yourself for that. So next time when they come around, you won't be behind, or you're not really worried about looking at that person or looking at this person, because, I'm focused. I got to focus because, like, straight and narrow is the way. So, it's just good. Like you said, pretty much just don't get distracted. Don't get sidetracked, because all it's going to do is just slow you down from what you're trying to get to.
And it brings out the ugliness in people.
Yes.
And we're so selfish in today's world. And I know things are tight and we got to focus. And when you're in your space, a little bit of selfishness is necessary in certain seasons. But if your selfishness is destroying something else that somebody is trying to build, it's for nothing. Right. And I'm at a point where I just pray for people now. It's not even about confronting anybody or trying to change it. I just pray that people get it one day.
Right.
You don't have to knock somebody down to make yourself better.
Right.
And I see it, in all environments, and not to be airing out anybody's dirty closet, but it's people around me in my vicinity that this is happening to, and that I see people doing it to other people.
Right.
You don't have to be conniving and sneaky and just a bad person in order to get where you can get to. You'll realize if you work with people, you'll get further.
Definitely, because you can't get it by yourself.
Right.
So
we'll end on that note, and we'll be back right here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BigExposedRadio.com. Shout out to all the people that are listening on our live. Continue to share, like, and help us spread the good word. Be back. We'll be right back.
Okay, so just type the job website address here. That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician. This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit search and...
In the past, Peter's gotten work through people he knew, but he heard there were more jobs online.
There we go.
These are all for me?
Uh-huh.
Really? He had no idea just how many.
I can't believe it. This one looks good.
Peter's thinking the internet might be for him after all.
And this is just one website.
Wow. Why didn't I do this sooner?
See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway
So you're your biggest asset.
Mm-hmm.
You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle, toxic, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? And if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I don't get tired. I get pissed the fuck off.
Okay, I find it hard to sleep at night, cause everything is going wrong. Like them pills they gave me smoking reefer help me keep it calm. Ain't hard to hide my issues. Sometimes I feel I'm so alone, lying to my friends and family, acting like it's nothing wrong. I think I'm going crazy, my mind's gone. I hear them voices in my head, tell them leave me alone. I'm feeling so gone, I don't know what's going on. I'm about to lose it, I can't do it, man, I'm too far gone. I'm going crazy, my mind's gone. I hear them voices in my head, tell them leave me alone. I'm feeling so gone, I don't know what's going on. I'm about to lose it, I can't too far gone. I got a couple screws loose and I ain't sure if I can fix them. Hearing voices all the time, it's getting harder not to listen. And it getting louder and louder, and they all saying something different. Should I listen to the first one and go back up in the kitchen? Pick up the phone, give me some grams, scramble it up and I'm ready to jam. Nigga, the way and I'm laying them down. With number two, you be calming me down, telling me chill, nigga, be real. You got the daughter who need you for real. Keep gonna work it, maybe it's slow, but the money that you get, they ain't taking it though. And it might take time, but you making it though. Voice number 3, see, he don't give a damn. No feelings, he don't understand. He want what he want when he want, and he want it now. Ain't nothing to talk about. Play with him, he's standing out, standing out. Crazy, my mind's gone. I hear them voices in my head, tell them leave me alone. I'm feeling so gone, I don't know what's going on. I'm about to lose it, I can't do it, man, I'm too far gone. I'm going crazy, my mind's gone. I hear them voices in my head, tell them leave me alone. I'm feeling so gone, I don't know what's going on. I'm about to lose it, I can't do it, man, I'm too far gone. I ain't dreamed of being a millionaire, cause when I sleep I see street visions of my fallen peers. Got me waking in cold sweats, wiping off my tears, wishing that they was here, drowning my sorrows in the bottles, whiskey, gin and beer. Don't know what's planned for the future, not gon' pretend I'm scared, cause my career could be engine ending with endless years. Though I pray to Allah, some will say that I'm weird. I gotta search for God because I know the devil's here. I'm off balance, trying to get back to level. Making money's the move and I'm sticking hard to my regimen. Where opposition comes, no surprise that I'm deadin'. Try to stay humble, but I'm a different man when the weapons bring. I'm going crazy, my mind's gone. I hear them voices in my head, tell them leave me alone. I'm feeling so gone, I don't know what's going on. I'm about to lose it, I can't do it, man, I'm too far gone. I'm going crazy, my mind's gone. I hear them voices in my head, tell them leave me alone. I'm feeling so gone, I don't know what's going on. I'm about to lose it, I can't do it, man, I'm too far gone.
I don't get tired.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
This forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, it's Monty, the executive producer here at BeExposedRadio.com, and I'm here to talk about my show. I know, how selfish, right? Talk Lately with me, Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So what do we talk about on this show? I can tell you this, there has never been a show that I have gotten completely through the full agenda because our topics, our conversations are just that damn good. I cover politics, gossip, entertainment, and hey, I love a good panel discussion. Hey, get a group of people in here and let us debate it out. That is the best thing in the world. Not to mention, I take calls and texts, and I'll debate with you too. So why don't you get involved and be heard?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. First of all, shout out to all the people that are listening to our Facebook Live right now. Everybody wave to the camera. It's kind of spooky sometimes when you don't know it's there. But Rebel, that's one right there in the corner.
All right, I know exactly.
Mr. Rebel Radford, Mo Breakers checking in. He's watching us. Who else on? Ferrari Freddy, Mr. Gerard Lee, Camille Radford. Rebel Rel said, I hear them voices in my head tell me to leave alone. Hey, okay. Mr. Titus James. Continue to share out. Crystal Renee, TJ, Chastity. Okay, Chastity, we're waiting for Chastity and the folks to come on along. But joining us right now, we have the first artist joining us, Mr. Connor Brendan or Brandon? Brendan.
Yeah.
And then we also have Mr. Guy Graham joining us. He's been listening to your music. You can sit right here in this shit right here for me. We have these two individuals joining us, representing the artist compound. They're both members of that compound. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Me and Connor were talking about the Ramblewood Festival and him just living as a traveling artist, which is scary to some people, but he's doing it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Connor, and then we'll move over to you, Mr. Guy.
So I'd call myself a bit of a folk singer of sorts, some sort of a storyteller, and I don't know, trying to inspire people through music as much as I can, tell the stories that that connect me to what I would call spirit, and yeah, for about 7 months I was traveling, just on the road, living out of a 4-door compact car, making a bed, sleeping diagonally between 2 seats.
It's hard to sleep in the back seat. It is hard.
It doesn't work. It's bad for your body.
Sometimes, if you just sit in the front seat and just lean all the way back, that you can almost get comfortable.
Right. Almost.
But that first flip over could be a doozy. So,
but then try to sleep like that for 7 months, man.
Wow.
But
it's dedication.
It is.
Yeah. And I spent about a month at Standing Rock, North Dakota, for the you know what's happening.
The pipeline.
Yeah.
So is it as bad as people think it is, as we see on TV?
Worse.
Wow.
It's worse.
So they're just moving in, crossing over. So I'll bring that up a little bit later because I want to continue to talk about your journey. What did you learn about yourself in that 7 months other than you can contort yourself for the purpose of sleeping?
I don't know, man.
Had you ever did anything like that where you are outdoors person to begin with? Or?
Yeah.
So how did that help you get to that point of being able to, do it for your artistry opposed to, hey, this is this sleepaway camp for the couple weeks of the summer opposed to this is life. I got to make money out here.
Yeah, well, really, I grew up in the woods.
Okay.
As a child. And so that is helpful when it comes to playing at festivals, so sometimes you have to sleep outside.
Right.
And it's good to be comfortable with that, if that's the kind of shows you're playing. And yeah, I've been definitely focusing more on making money as an artist these days, is trying to move forward more than I have in the past.
Did you plan out a tour, or was it just, I'm going to just plan a couple dates and I'm just going to let the wind blow me? Was it planned or?
There was a few shows.
Okay.
There was a Unify festival. That was in New Mexico. There was this festival, Astral Observatory in Missouri, and some other shows here and there. But for a long time, I was just rambling.
How does that work? Like, cause you gotta eat at some point, and sometimes that money you brought, at some point you on that last 20. Right. So what then has to happen? Once you on that 20, you either go eat or buy toilet paper, or what's the
like dollar sandwiches.
I did a lot of shopping for like nuts and berries and.
See, you already prepared for that aspect of it. Because for me, I'm like, I got to find a 7-Eleven. I got to find something so I can get a nice, something nourishing to eat.
Yeah. And there's a lot of busking you got to do, too, to make enough money. And I did some, like, freelance, like, trimming work in California, doing some, like, cannabis trimming, and worked at a few different farms. And
so did you mentally prepare yourself for what could happen or what you were willing to do to make that couple dollars? For gas, because you were driving, so gas money was important.
Yeah. Fortunately, my car had pretty good gas mileage before it died. But
he said he died in Nevada. Right. He said it died in the middle of Nevada, right?
It died in the middle of Nevada, and someone who I'd only known for 3 days in California, my friend Herb, drove 4.5 hours to
Yo,
pick me
you
up
need to
in the
say
middle of Nevada.
your best friend.
My best friend, Herb.
Your best friend now.
Best friend. And then he let me stay at their like place for a few days, and just one of the things I learned is everywhere you go in the world, people suck.
Yeah. I disagree.
But also everywhere in the world, people are also amazing.
Yeah.
So it's this true balance. You'll find the worst people you've ever met, and the most incredible, like,
strangers.
Just like it makes you want to cry how kind some people are.
Yeah.
Some of my best experiences have been with strangers.
I'm sorry, but usually through traveling and stuff, I find that people abroad or wherever you go, they seem to be more receptive and friendly, and than
people
right. So yeah,
but it happens that way, and it's crazy. I talk about a couple times I went to Chicago just out of the blue because I found this job in a newspaper and they sent me a bus ticket, and I took the job, and I retarded. I was 18. You do stupid things when you're 18, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And when I got there, we were selling magazine subscriptions, and I was like, that's not what I thought. It has nothing to do with rock and roll or anything like it said in the ad. But getting there, again, you find horrible individuals, but it was some nice people who got me out of that situation and back home. And you just never know. And as artists, you have to be able to be fearless and jump out there and not like
take chances.
Right.
Like,
at any point, did you say, you know what? I have a nice home that I can go back to and lay in my bed. At any point, did you say that?
After my car died.
You can't say that.
Right.
You can't think about because
it'll distract you.
Somehow, subconsciously you'll end up back in bed at home. You gotta
before you even leave the parking lot, you back in your bed.
That is, you might miss your cat or your woman or whatever, but you'll see
I want mommy right now, please, mom.
Your mom or whatever.
Pretty much, you got to remember why you started for real. Like, I'm doing this for a reason, so whatever I go through, I'm pretty much prepared for it.
Yeah.
So we gonna go over to Guy. That was Guy that you heard chiming in. So we gonna learn a little bit about him and who he is.
What's going on, y'all?
How's it going, sir? So to give us a little bit of a background of who you are, what you do.
My name's Guy Grams. I'm an MC, Baltimore, local cat. I travel. I do kind of like old school, like that feeling you used to get, that 90s like feeling, so I kind of do some stuff like that. I put out a new project. It's called The Consigliere. A few years back, we put out The Gateway Drug. I put out an album called Street Intellect. I used to battle like with the pit fights and all. I travel, play New York, Philly, Jersey, all over. If you book me, I'll be there. Yeah. I mean, I'm open for like Sean Price, rest in peace, Smith & Wesson, AZ, Parrish Smith, Tony Touch. Last year we were on tour with the Cottonmouth Kings. So it was like 18 cities and 20 nights. And so, I do a lot of my own booking. I'm an independent artist, so it's tough. I'm not a business-man. I'm an MC. But
you are now. You're doing it.
I wear a lot of hats.
Right.
So, and it was even like what you guys were talking with him, being on the road and stuff. It's like you got to work it. If you're down to your last $20, like every city that I get to, like I have tons of merch, CDs, posters, stickers, T-shirts. I see people, they might be receptive, they might not be, but you got to work it. You got to get your sales pitch. Say, look, man, we're trying to get to the next city. We're blah, blah, blah. We're doing this. We're doing that. If you support, anything helps.
Because your talent alone will get you in the door, but it doesn't always,
you have to
keep
work. You have to work that too. And like if you have merchandise, when you perform, and touring and being around, I've been playing live for like 12 years. I see a lot of cats. They might perform somewhere, something people leave. Like a lot of times in hip hop, people might see an act like their buddies, and then even bands or whatever too, they might leave, and then other band will go and whatever, right? Like after you perform, especially like on a tour or something, you can't go and like party with, a bunch of people or ladies
go sit
or
in
whatever.
The back or something.
Right. You what you need to do is work your material and network and push your
that
brand. Like I wanted to go smoke one and chill back and but every time I got off stage, but I knew I had to go sit at my merch table and let people see me and like push my brand, So
and you have to be the face of that.
Consistency, pretty much.
Right.
Like, you have a consistency about what you're doing, because if you don't have the consistency, you'll fall off.
Yeah. So it's like you have to stay focused, like extremely focused, especially when you're on the road and doing stuff like that, because everything can knock you off your, it's like something the devil's trying to say, let's go party over here, do this, don't take care, and also in being an adult and being a man, like whatever you do, make sure you can handle your, take care of your obligations. Don't just go willy-nilly.
Come home with something.
Yeah, act like you've been there,
story.
Right. So, and also, I can relate, the tour that we did, the 18 cities and 20 nights, I drove my own vehicle as well, so I can relate to that. So I'm still driving that vehicle as well. It's not dead yet, but she needs some love, though.
Are you learning to become this makeshift mechanic?
No, definitely not. So.
We don't want any horror stories on the road or anything.
No, I mean, I've gotten flat tires and all. I can change a flat tire.
Okay.
Or like, jolt the battery, or if the battery dies or something like that. But if it ain't the battery and the tire ain't flat or something, then we're gonna be sitting there like
get an Uber, get you there.
Yeah, shout out to Uber.
But giving you guys some individual conversation as far as the business of what you do, because you brought up the business. And most artists, we know how to be creative,
right?
And depending on how you came into the arts. You know how to be creative, and you may have some business sense, but it's hard for us to really tap into and pay attention and give equal time to both sides of it. Because we so busy rehearsing, preparing, networking, but the business of it, making dollars and cents.
But that's something that I've learned the past few years. Sometimes as an artist, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like some of the best artists, they might not get on the scene, or you've never heard of them, or whatever scene you're on, or whatever, because they don't have their business correct.
Right.
Some of the artists that you're seeing that are being pushed, and a lot of times
that may not be that good.
They're not the most skilled, talented acts. It's that they got a mean manager. Their manager's like a savage. He just, and that's how they get,
Or they saw
like that. So
they saw something working, and they said, "Well, I can do at least this," and they match their business sense to it. So they're winning.
It is a catch-22. Also, like what you guys were saying is that I'm at the point too where it's like. Same thing, like you put a value on yourself or your art, and if you don't, then no one will. So it's like you get to a point where it's like I want to do stuff. I can't just do every show. I can't do everything. It's okay to say no and turn stuff down, or say, well, that's probably not a good look for me, or whatever. But
when did you learn how to say no?
I'm still learning.
Right.
It depends if it's somebody I feel like if I have a connection to, or I want to look out for somebody, or if it's a good cross promotional thing or something.
Right.
So, but it's really taking it to that point where like you want to put a value on what you're doing, and you don't want to scare people away sometimes. I talk to venues and booking people and stuff, and I'll say, well, my rates are this, and it's this, and we do this, and I think that in a sense it might scare them away. And like my manager, tells me like it's just a standard thing. Everyone who's official, that's how they come at them. So it's like send them the press kit, send them your contracts and riders, all your professional stuff. Like people are only going to take you as serious as you take yourself.
Exactly.
So,
and if they see that organization, they may not be able to afford it, but once they can, they'll have that on. They'll keep that.
They know how you roll. They know that your business is correct. They say, oh, okay. Because, if you don't have all that, people will just continue to play you, You'll get, played basically, So, it's a rough thing, but also, kind of like you guys were saying, it's that risk. It's like jumping off a cliff and hoping that your
every single day
opens, It's like you're hoping that parachute opens. Hopefully it will.
Bungee cord don't
at
snap.
some point.
Well, I found a good soft space to fall.
If you never jump off, then you'll never find out.
You'll never know.
And that's even more scary than splatter in the ground.
Especially the longer you stay in it and you're just on the outskirts of it. You never jump into it, really. You will stay paralyzed.
So my whole goal right now actually is just, I'm kind of hoping I'm pulling the string, I'm trying to fill out the calendar as much as possible, So this is what I'm doing full time now. So I've always worked other jobs and all. So it's like I jumped off the cliff and I'm there to book me, Guy Grams.
So
Guy Grams Music.
Connor, the business of what you do, because it sounds like you both are on the same. Musicians are scary to me because you're not afraid to do anything. You're not afraid to be out there. But speaking for you, Connor, how has the business side of who you are? Because you can love the music, but do you love making money doing your music?
Yeah, I mean, it's my life. And, one of the things I've had to do is kind of branch out into some different things. I'm doing some soundtrack work for a Sundance film right now. And I do...
Because you don't always get the goal. You don't always get the goal.
Yeah, and, I love orchestrating, too, and composing. So I play pretty much every instrument under the sun. So I kind of use that for making big instrumental things. And
so instead of waiting tables, you learn how to... do work within your field.
Yeah. I'm also writing custom songs for people. I have an agent I just started working with, who's putting some of my songs into TV and films right now.
All right.
And just working on filling up the calendar, as he was saying, with as many gigs as possible. That's probably the number one thing. Yeah,
that calendar is important,
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you find out what you're good at, and for me, I'll say I started out as an actor, and I realized very soon that I'm not always going to get the lead role. I'm not always going to get the role I want. So I need to learn how to be the stage manager. I need to learn how to run the lights, because even in me building my own, I know what I'm looking for when I go to hire somebody. But that can feed me until that next opportunity comes. Guy, what other things do you do in the arts besides be the front man?
It's funny because I'm just an MC. I've always said that my whole thing is like I respect, that how you were saying like there's so many aspects to like, the art is behind the scenes and all. It's like, especially with my craft with like hip hop, so many acts. They haven't mastered one thing,
right?
And then so it's not bringing them income. So to sustain, they open a studio, or they make beats too,
right.
or they break dance, or they do all these different things that they're kind of half-ass at,
right.
and not really, good at one thing. So it's like my whole thing from the jump was I just wanted to focus on my craft, to being an MC, and just I don't make beats. I have good people that do production, and then like I have good people do promotions, and other things. It's like. Although I do wear all these hats too, it's like
your main focus.
Yeah. So I've had to work odd jobs like at warehouses. I did landscaping for years, and I worked for Eastern Motors and liquor stores, and I've done many things to sustain myself, over the years. So,
but and even doing that, it's not always. It doesn't always take you away from it because you're still meeting people. You're still probably pushing that CD across the counter sometimes.
Yeah. I got to the point now where it's like. I would have to be to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would work till 4 in the afternoon. And then I would come home from work, I would be tired. But all day I was at work, I was thinking, I got to contact this person, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. I got to finish writing this, or, all these obligations and things I had to do. By the time I even got to my life, it was 5 or 6 o'clock at night, before I even got to what I, as a man, or my company, or my goals for the day were. It was 5 or 6 o'clock at night before I even got to that. So in that frustration, it was like the point of me just going full force, at it now is that I don't wake up and worry about making some other man money or having putting money in some
your
other
pocket,
guy, some other guy's dream. He's fulfilling his quota for the day, but I'm just, so it's like taking that risk. And any artist, I would encourage
Were you at one of those jobs when you found that out? Were you at that job when you found that out, or was it just one night
I was
you
working,
said, I'm not going back
and
to
I had
the job?
that realization, like, this ain't working, because
you can only catch an attitude at somebody else's job.
Or I would perform. We would play like New York, like 3 shows in New York all weekend, and I'd feel good and like creative, and I'd come back home. I have to work Monday morning, and I'd be ready to wake up and like eat something and like roll one up and create, getting the creative juices flowing or something. And I'd go to work, and my boss would be, complaining about this and that and saying what we got to do and all this and that. And I'm like, just an instant weight right back on you. Like, oh man, this is not, so,
because it's like you're working at a place like you don't like, you really pretty much don't want to do. Like I'm working here, but this is not what I really want to do.
Right.
So like when you say it, like when you say taking the risk, like me, I stopped and I do full-time acting. And like, how you say make other income, like far as I do filmmaker and I do like video production a lot. So like I kind of understand what you're saying. Like when you say you only like around 6 o'clock, you say you have time to yourself.
Right.
Like that's pretty much because as an artist, we really don't
and eat and relax. It's
because as an artist, like we really don't have time to ourselves because we're always doing something, or we're always in this gig, or we're always in that gig, or we're going here and going here, and like pretty much by the time you do have time for yourself, it's just sleep.
And also the older that I get. I'm a sociable person, but the older that I get, I guess it's part of my art, and I'm kind of like a hippie soul. But I like that alone time. Like I really, really value that. Like, it's like I'm alone. Like I need time to create or do whatever. But like I'm always moving or doing this, or it's like that alone time is very valuable. Just to gather your thoughts, or just to
because it's a time to create yourself and build yourself even more into a better and bigger person.
So, Connor, how have you been able to balance that? Are you still like, I'm gonna work these odd jobs, or are you gung-ho with your artistry?
I'm pretty gung-ho with the art and I'm really trying to push forward with it, and it's the end goal. It's the goal towards the other goals, which is like bringing light to different issues and stuff. And sometimes the thing that makes me realize that it's so important, I mean, there's the obvious, this is what I have to do. There's nothing else that would make me feel fulfilled quite. But, a huge part of it is that I think the balance that keeps me going in some ways is knowing what I'm fighting for.
Right.
I'm bringing light to issues. I talk about the bee extinction that's happening a lot. I try to talk about native rights issues, especially regarding Standing Rock. And things like Black Lives Matter and Native Lives Matter, you know, Native people are killed huge percentage by police.
So a lot of your work, being a folk artist, a lot of your work is about the community and this reflecting. I mean, not that any other artistry doesn't do that, but folk artists have a tendency of being in the trenches more so than other artists that are just spotlighting what's going on.
Transparent,
right.
maybe.
How has that been able to, how has that hurt you or helped you be a better artist and being able to use it for the greater good?
I think it helps start conversations, if anything, and brings some light to issues that maybe people knew about, but it wasn't on the top of their mind.
Right, because a lot of people put those small issues like in the shelf. Like you just said, pretty much, because like it's a lot of small issues that are really big issues. And how society is, they just look at, oh well, it's not entertainment, or it's not that, or it's like it's not whatever they want to see, but they really don't know how much is really affecting the world just from this small issue. Like if you have a scar and it's real small, eventually if you just leave it open, it's going to get bigger and it's going to get bigger, it's going to get infected, and then next thing you know, like you got a big situation, and next thing you know, like now why'd you didn't handle the situation when it was small at first? Like you should have just wanted to handle it, so you wouldn't have to wait till now.
But
I think one of the things is right now so many people in the society are really struggling just to survive. People are working huge amounts of time for really low income and making just barely enough to survive. And then the weekend is just your time to relax, and people don't want to have to think about these things.
Right.
You know, people are so stressed that they don't want to have to think about all these other problems. And of course with this administration right now, the Trump administration, we're just being bombarded with terrible news. We're getting bombarded with terrible news every single day, and it's exhausting. So
how do you think, and both of you can answer this, how do you think your expression can help not so much calm people down, but actually help people to move forward? Because as artists, we're living in our purpose. And a lot of these people who are struggling, I mean, we all struggling in our own way, but a lot of people are really in the struggle, are working for other people and not really living out their goals. How can you speak to or give advice to somebody to find what it is that they're passionate about and run for that, opposed to, you're going to be struggling anyway, so I might as well struggle doing what it is that I'm here to do?
You know, I think like tightening the goals down a little bit. Finding things that are doable, finding things that you can do locally is really important. Like real achievable goals, and just keep moving forward from there.
And something I would say is the struggle is necessary for anyone. Like I've been telling people recently, like you can't know what a win is until you've lost. You can't really appreciate what a win means until you've taken those losses and those struggles, and also kind of like what to build off what you guys were saying is I do hip hop, like I'm an MC. I know like it's a beautiful thing that I'm an independent artist because I can say anything that I want. Like I have freedom of speech. I can speak, you know, and a lot of times like I feel like there's some substance. When I grew up in the 90s, and I was born in 85, so you know I'm getting old. So I mean, I grew up listening to Gangstar and Nas and Rakim and you know KRS-One and like all this stuff. It meant so much, but there was so much messages in the music and jewels, and it was like really like giving you some, you know. And they were talking about like the times and the people in the trenches, and you know. So it's like with my material and like my man right here was saying, you know, we're able to speak on poverty, on what's really going on, or what the people are what's going on around me in my city, in my area, in the county, in the city, what the demographics. So
I want to hear, like, I'm not gonna push it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I just need to hear it. I mean, there's a guitar in the room, there's an MC in the room. So I'm just saying, maybe possibly down the line of this 2 hours, we can get something in, because I want to hear what it is that you do. Sure. Tell us about the project that you have coming up, guy.
Well, the new project I just released is called The Consigliere. It's 20-some songs. It's all original stuff. It features legendary cats like Tragedy Gaddafi. So he's a legendary Queensbridge MC. He's been around forever. He was on the War Report with Capone and Noriega.
Right.
So he's got Reef the Lost Cause from Philly. He's got local cats like my man Raph of the Dirt Platoon, Ill Conscious, Seneca the Misfit. So
you about your music. You're not trying to map out what's going to work, because they're not. I'm not saying they all over the place,
right?
But they all have very distinctive sounds within their own lane,
right?
So you're not afraid to just put art out there.
Right,
At this
right.
part,
and so
you're about the art.
And also, like, I think something that I feel like I should address, or that's
Mhm.
me and my buddies talk about, is like, especially with hip hop, most genres of music, but like especially with hip hop, the saying like "fake it till you make it" or like whatever,
Right.
like that. That's tough to me. Like a hip hop, especially, there's a lot of that stuff going on. Like the artists, artists talk about things that they don't even have, and then normal people listen to that and they covet these things that they shouldn't even want. It's a whole system of like, and people,
Lies
it's like, it's like the whole system is like, so I'm an honest, like what you see is what you get. With my material, if you know me, like Guy is the man, Guy Grams is the brand. So
Right.
like,
Okay.
I'm still a person.
You say that rhyme? You hear that?
It's still the man. Like, like I said earlier, with like being transparent, like who I am is what you see, or what you get is who I am, or So I feel like it's not enough honesty in music, and what you get, it fits the person that I am.
I can't. I don't want to blame it on like the Puff Daddies or something like. But something happened where it became about the glitz and the glam, and not about just like you said, the message.
Like
Rakim and Eric B. That was like what I knew.
Right.
But
that's
I did
hip-hop.
not.
That's
right.
what hip hop is.
Right.
That's
like music to me is like when you actually can touch the heart of man. Being one little girl, but like because a lot of people, because this music now is just like you said, it's pretty much booty popping, stuff like that. Don't even make sense. Mumble rap, like what?
But see, just what you just were touching on is that I had this conversation the other day, like there's so many rappers or artists out there with so much, like rapidy rap rappers with so much content, all these rhymes, but the guy that they're out there right now, but tons of them. The guy that they're pushing, the main act that these big companies are pushing, he can hardly speak a proper sentence of English. So why is that who they're pushing?
Yeah.
When you got all these talented artists and all these rapidy rappers, and then why do they push the guy who can hardly speak a sentence?
At some point, the control shifted, and it was no longer about your talent, and it was more about meeting a quota and doing the least. Like, there's no more artist development anymore. We don't. There's not a process
want you to be a star. They don't make stars.
Right, because if you don't have a certain amount of numbers now or a certain following,
not dealing with you.
They not even want it. You're not even going to be given a meeting, let alone be signed.
Yeah.
But something happened where as though it just shifted a little bit, and it wasn't about the individual stories. It was more about you have to fit into this image. So if this person is hot, everybody has to sound like this in order to sell the music.
Right, because a lot of people are into the music for fame and money. But like my artist Rico Will says, it's MTM more than music.
Right.
Because it's not just about money, because the money's going to come if you're serious about it. But it's more like how can you change the mind of others, or how can you make this person a better person?
Well, I agree that that's accurate, but to go back to what you were saying, is like the movie Jaws, right? It came out, the original movie Jaws. People made movies just for art before, right? And Jaws made millions of dollars. It was like one of the first movies that made. It was a great movie, the original Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger boat and all this. After that, like Jaws kind of messed the whole movie game up forever for everyone else because they said it sold how many copies, it made how much money, and ever since Jaws, had that opening weekend or that big splash, people have been making big budgets and creating movies to sell hundreds of thousands of millions of copies, and it's like somewhere along the line, like that wasn't their intention, but a light bulb went off. Like so same thing with music. Like there's some artists popped and had like a big explosion. Other businesses and people, they say we want to recreate that, and they want another artist to say, now when you're not independent and you deal with labels,
trying to be the next.
They say we'll make a club song. We want a song that sounds like a mumble rap guy. We want make it sound like this. Can you mold it a little bit to this? So it's like
the idea what American Idol or one of those shows are.
They see dollar signs. They think, well, this could go viral. You know,
and we don't realize we actually control that.
Right, and so, again, with the hip hop, you know, they say, "Have you been arrested?"
Right.
Well, have you been shot? You need to get shot. You know, it's like, dude, you know.
There's somebody did a parody of it, like,
you get shot.
You've been shot on sign today.
You gotta get, and it's not even like I just gotta go to jail. It could be like not paying child support or traffic tickets. I went to jail. I did my 6 months. Now that's my scar. You know, I've been shot. You know, not to say I've glazed myself trying to clean the gun.
Glorifying all these things that are, you know, bullcrap.
Not important at all.
Yeah, something that you shouldn't covet or, you know, care about. Or
so in the next, well, we can start the conversation in this segment. There's something that happened in music, and I would say it happens now more in hip hop, and that's why we have this mumble rap hysteria. But at some point, like I'll say your generation, that was somebody that showed them how to do it. But at some point, we realize, those artists realize, wait a minute, this is competition now. And the competition is now super exceeding where I'm at. So I'm not going to show you my talents. And and that's all industries. Nobody want to show people how to do anything. The whole idea of grandfathering someone in is gone now.
Right.
So that's illegal. You can't do that. You can't give all the secrets out, because then you really don't know what you're doing anymore. So you got to go out there and rough it and learn it on your own. Hence where mumble rap came in.
Also, something that's a variable is with what you're saying is the music game in all genres. It's constantly evolving. So something that a grandfather cat did to get on, right? It may not be relevant, or it may not be a actual means to like success now. You know, it's like times
But you
change,
can't recreate the wheel, though. It's still learning how to get
still
16 bars.
Formula to it. Yeah,
right. You don't know what 16 bars are.
You can use what they teach you and just like turn it into your own kind of craft. Like I'm taking what you taught me, and I'm taking what you taught me. And, you know, I'm gonna mold it and then make it like
a good artist should do that.
I mean, and the idea of now everything being done digitally, so I don't even need to be in the studio with you anymore. I can do mine in Singapore and you down in Baltimore
that's
doing
tough
yours.
To me. I don't like that. It's cool if we have a relationship and that's where you're at. But if I don't know you, I don't want to work with you from across the globe. Like, I'd like to meet you and, you know,
but that's,
I
don't want to sing a song and then send it in.
But see, that is what is missing now. So as musicians, you lose that, because now I can be in my own bubble, and then we can just slice and cut and paste, and it sounds like we're in the same studio. I was talking to a photographer last week, and she asked me, I took photography classes. She said, was it digital or was it the old school way? I said, well, I learned how to dip the film, and
the old
school way. And she was like, well, we can have a conversation there, because some people now it's digital photography classes. It's, you don't even know how to go into a dark room or how to do things that way. And I equate that to a lot of the artistry now. So we've evolved, but if you know the basics, you understand what a filter, it was a mistake. It was not something that is used to now decorate your pictures, but those filters were photography mistakes that are now used as filters. And I know that because of the class I took. But some people don't get that. Well, this is the filter.
You taught me something.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Go ahead. Like go ahead.
So
you have to actually step right here. Go ahead.
In the art world, like, we're supposed to learn the basics, like old school photography, before we go into the digital world.
Yeah.
I think that's what part of the music industry is missing, is because they don't learn the basics. They just head dive right in.
But there's no one showing them anymore. Nobody wants to. You know, Guy Grams is on the road. I don't have time to teach a class.
Right.
You know, not to say you wouldn't want to do it, but that's a lot of people feel like I gotta be out here.
That's on you. Like, you can't put that like on another person. Like basically anything that you like or you're interested in and you want to know about photography, if it's jazz or hip hop or whatever, wherever you come in at, wherever you picked it up and found an interest in it, go back and look at why. Say, well, I'm into this. Let me see why this sounds like this, or what made the people that came before.
Yeah, you got to go back to the roots.
If there's anything that you're into, don't be ignorant about not knowing where it came from or how it originated or who came, before, So
it's like acting. Actors, like, come on, who will be an actor and really not study Shakespeare?
Right.
Like, you got to really go back from the beginning and see, like,
if you're in a craft or you're trying to, hone a skill and you don't know about the origin of where it came from,
study,
then you're not going to succeed
Well,
off the jump.
we're in
like, you need to be aware of yourself.
We're in a YouTube generation where I don't have to go to school to learn something anymore.
Yeah, and also,
or it's not in the school for me to learn anymore.
So it's even less of an excuse because you can just type up everything. Information is at your fingertip on your cell phone.
But that's still not
constantly.
It's still not the basis of it. You're not learning. And I'm a big component of going to school.
Right.
I really am. Education is key because a lot of these mistakes that we make as artists, we would not make them if we had a basis or a history
but
behind
also,
what we do.
every mistake you make is an education.
Right, it is.
You learn from your
mistakes. Right, but if you have a foundation and you go out and make mistakes, I know when I make the mistake how to get back up. We're making mistakes and making that, like I did filters. Filters are mistakes. They're not supposed to be like decorations. We've used them now as decorations to enhance our photos, but those are real mistakes. So we don't know that. Like you said, you didn't know that to go into that. But how would you know that? Clicking on a YouTube ad, learning from somebody who don't know the history behind what they're doing.
Some people are hands-on and some people can just read it and get it. Like me, I like to be hands-on. Like you said, I want to meet you in person, you know what I'm saying? Like I can actually understand and see what you're talking about and your facial expressions and like how serious are you.
Same thing like you said, hands-on. There's two kinds of ways to learn. Like you were saying, I don't know the big technical term, but I'm like that too, where like you can tell me like you got to go down and make a left or do this, or it's 2 bolts and 6 twists or whatever. But like I hear you, but it won't register until I physically like do it with my hands. And like I'm like, oh, 2 lefts, a stop sign, or 6. It's like it clicks.
He needs the details.
I can hear what you're saying. I'm listening intently, but at the same time, until I actually physically, do it myself, then it engraved him. That's how I learned. So it's like everyone learns differently as well. So
I think, and the long story short, everybody has a different learning style, but knowing how to go research what you're talking about, and a lot of artists, I was looking at Drink Champs the other day, and Nori was upset because some artists were sampling his work. But when he met the person, they didn't know who he was. So they didn't know who he was. It was a younger guy. He said the guy was probably like 17 or 18, and he had used the music, and it came time for him to like, sir, you're using my stuff online. So when he met him, he said he didn't know who he was. And he said, I didn't get offended because he didn't know who he was. This boy like half my age. Like I have children older than him. But the idea of you didn't do the research or you didn't listen to the whole song. You just heard a hook.
Fault. That's his. And as us, like you're talking about artists like giving back, it is good to give back. But that guy who did not have the knowledge of what he was dealing with, it's on him ultimately to realize what he's doing.
Listen to the whole song. So read the album cover.
But like you said, he was half his age, and I seen this thing like on the line or something the other day. It was little kids. It was like 8, 12-year-old kids. They handed them a Walkman, and they were like, "What is this?" They were like, "Minds were blown." I don't know if any of y'all seen that.
Actually, I seen.
So I just was cracking up because they didn't know what a Walkman was. They're like, "You talking to it? What is this? What does this do?" They were all like, it showed like 10 little kids.
What are these buttons?
Counts your steps, right?
So it's definitely a age.
It's a learning curve, and there's a gap, and I don't blame the alcohol elders. I don't blame the elders, but at some point when you see somebody making a mistake, at least offer the knowledge. They don't have to do anything with it, but when they're faced with that issue of saying, okay, now I'm 34, so what happens now? This hasn't been working for me. They know something's been said to them already. So it can't be saying, well, I didn't get the knowledge, so what am I supposed to do now? But at least start teaching more and start giving that knowledge so artists do know what their contracts mean. If you've been through this, you've been broke, you've had to go through bankruptcy. Somebody like Toni Braxton, if she never says anything about her bankruptcy, she's not doing her job as an artist completely. I feel because then you're allowing somebody else to go through the same thing, and you just watching them fall. And you could give them a couple steps to prevent it.
Same thing like Mike Tyson. It's kind of a little different, but like Mike Tyson was kind of getting raped by Don King and all his people, and then now it's like, Mike Tyson does stand-up comedy. He's actually really funny. But,
surprisingly.
Y'all seen that before? It was like really funny. But he's talking about like real issues, things that happened to him, and it's like some of it's just abrasively funny, but
but he's telling the truth. He's telling you a story.
He's telling the truth though, and like you said, in some way, it helped somebody out there. Somebody didn't go that route or figured out, I think I better ask more questions or something.
Let me read
some
this
way,
entire contract.
Him telling them stories help somebody in some way to learn or go a different route.
True.
So in a sense, that's the whole cycle of giving back. You know, him to being on top of the world, to getting played, to falling down, to being back in the public eye, to telling everyone, you know, what it's about. You know, so kind of giving out those secrets or.
Right. I was like, sometimes like you can give out the secrets, or you can just tell and try to help someone, but sometimes everybody doesn't listen. You know,
you can lead a horse to water,
right?
You know?
But can't make them drink.
Right.
Like they'll turn that deaf ear. But for the ones who do listen, you know, those are the ones we touch.
And there's these like master classes and stuff that I've seen coming out as a more popular thing, which I think is cool too. One kind of like one of the things you were saying. I think it's really important how. I think people should be going back to the roots of everything.
Right.
When they're trying to like learn a certain style of music, go back to where that music came from. Then go back to where that music came from.
And you'll have a better understanding of what.
But I just want to beat. I just want the beat. I don't want to do all that. I just want the beat.
And but if you want to create something new, you got to go back to where the new things are made from.
Or you'll be doing the same thing and be like, "Well, I didn't know that." Now you're being sued because you just did the same exact thing.
Yeah, and also with what you were saying is like, it's like with a 4-bar structure. Like all certain things, like even with music, like I can't read like music notes per se, but like
not yet.
Right. But there's like a mathematics, like a basic structure. There's like laws to everything. There's like certain rules and laws that like
that
must
not
apply.
changed.
Yeah. So if you're like trying to do something and you're unaware, like you might be stuck or having, you know. If you go back and learn about some of these things, it might make where you're headed, you know, forward. It might make that an easier process or more easy to understand. Like, oh, it's a simple law that applied all the way through history. You know, it's like, oh, this simple mathematics, you know, it has to, you know, be in a certain key or a rhythm or whatever. It's like to know your past helps you figure out where you're heading.
And I push education because I've had a college experience, and I just know. Some of the mistakes that I see some of my friends who was like, man, I ain't Sally Mae, what? I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I see it, but I'll see it and I'll be like, well, I still made a mistake because I wanted to do things my own way, but I had a basis for what I was doing. You know, I knew at least the core value because even with education, you still have to take the initiative and apply it and realize this education is based on this professor's or this teacher's knowledge, and it's their perspective, their opinion of how they do things. But once you get into the real world, you realize that ain't all. You know, we do need algebra. We realize that now we do need geometry. We need those things because it helps us to do what we do in different ways. But we not realizing that we just know the basis of it. And I don't have a problem with YouTube University, but you got to know that person may be flawed because they just found a perspective, a way to do it. But what if that's not your learning style? Like we were talking about, that's not your learning style. So you watching that video doesn't help you, but you're just going to make that mistake. So I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to make this work because it worked for this person because they got 10 million likes.
Or
so
you try to, you watch the video and like if you can't really learn from it, try to get somebody to watch it with you that can break it down to your understanding.
If I could also say, going back to both these artists' music, on an educational level, they go past with their music to tell the public about what's really going on. With all the alternative news and people shying away what's on TV, they get people interested in social topics, and then they want to go and find out what's really going on. So that's why I respect both these musicians here today that are with us.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
Check out this flashback from It Is What It Is radio show.
Paul he was chilling, he was doing his thing. Y'all, you feel me? Love y'all family, you know what I'm saying? And like, for him to be taken away from you, snatched away from you just like that. You feel me? It's like damn. Another good one gone. You know what I'm saying? Like why you taking the good? You know what I'm saying?
You always end up asking like why?
And that's like again. it's a lesson that it's a test of faith. You feel me? He gonna take you through these tests. You feel me? You're gonna go through these little phases in life, yo. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you just gotta recognize that one, it's the adversary trying to knock you off your pivot, and then it's God trying to teach you something. You feel me? Right. Anything that you go through, you gonna get through. It's called going through. You feel me? That's why it's called going through. You going through something. Right. You feel me? Because after you go through it, you get through it. You look back going like, damn, I got that. You feel what I'm saying?
For this and more, be sure to tune into BeExposedRadio.com every Friday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. to listen to more of It Is What It Is radio show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Come back Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Shout out to the Artist Compound. We have Miss China May in the building with us, giving us some information. But give us a brief synopsis real quick of the Artist Compound, some things that you all have coming up, what you guys do, why you here?
Well, Artist Compound is basically the connector of talent to matchmake them with venues and opportunity. We bring artists through artist development and other methods of bringing them further along with their career. We get them gigs, galleries, get them festivals, and much more. What we have coming up, we have a lot of stuff coming up. We have, next Wednesday, me and 3 other artists are having a art opening at XS. It's called Aurora. I have a special Light City display of color-changing paintings.
Oh, wow.
We also have house music at Mary's Thai on Thursday, and Sundays there's a brunch with house music as well, so every Thursday and Sunday. We also have a art opening at Mary Thai called Fusion, which is featuring 5 different artists, and we have a hip-hop showcase at the end of April, and hopefully Guy will join us for that as well on April 27th. We also have, wait one moment.
Where would that be on April 27th?
That would be at Mary's Thai. It's off of Fleet Street.
Not far.
Federal Hill.
Yeah.
Not very far.
We also have regular events with Riley's Oyster Bar and Rye and Fells Point, so you can get a variety of different types of genres every week there as well. You can also find our full calendar on Facebook at Artist Compound. And we'll have an open mic series coming up in May at Hotel RL, and we have a bunch of stuff in store, so definitely follow us on Facebook to stay tuned.
So I'm gonna go around the room and let these phenomenal artists, Guy and Connor, and now Melanie that's joined us, give out their social media where people can find them. Maybe send a check. You know, you never know what may happen. So we'll start with Connor.
Yeah, you can find my music on connorbrendan.com, CONORBRENDAN.com. And on that site, there are links to Facebook, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, all those things, and a mailing list, which I'm working on building right now. And yeah.
That's what's up. Any upcoming shows or?
Definitely working on filling up the list. One of the biggest shows right now is Love Light Festival in August at Camp Ramblewood.
Get ready.
Last year
Get your
I
sleeping
played
bags.
solo and with Trevor Hall there, who is also a really great artist. And I would definitely check that out.
Mr. Guy.
And my website is guygramsmusic.com. GUYGRAMS music.com. So I Facebook Guy Grams. Go like my fan page. Guy Grams Music on Instagram. I'm on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, CD Baby, anywhere you can find any outlets. My music is on YouTube or wherever. So but yeah, to get at me on my website, and lots of big things still coming up, shows and.
Give us the name of the album.
The album is Consigliere.
There we go.
So I'm Guy Graham. So The Gateway Drug, check that too. Look for the vinyl. It's out through Chopped Herring.
There we go.
Yeah. So just keep checking for me. So
there we go.
Send me a check.
See? PayPal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It all works. Facebook now. You can get money through Facebook.
Some cash on the carrier pigeon.
Oh my God.
Whatever your app may be. Miss Melanie.
Hey peoples, I done snuck up in here. I was watching the show in the car, like, you know what, I'm stopped at the station, here I go, right. Y'all know I dropped my book this week, so I'm here to pump it again, right. Sapphire Erotica is out on Amazon. You can go ahead and pre-order your copy. It comes out on April the 15th. And I'm about to try to pimp some business in here. There's so many artists in the run. I happen to run Sapphire Spotlight on Talent.com. I run an entertainment promotion and resource company right here in Baltimore. I love meeting new artists. Hi. And I have a large following. My online network is about 75,000 right now. So I would love to meet y'all. Team up with y'all. We can talk before I leave here. And hi, peoples.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, also this month, we have some really cool workshops coming up. There is a Pints with Prince with Lorraine on April 10th at the Points in Fells. Jewelry and Drinks on April 11th at the Point in Fells, which is at 1738 Thames Street. And we have the Point of House with Jess Figment and Danny Baltimore on April 20th. So it's going to be really cool. So come check it out.
So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, hopefully we can, kind of encourage our artists to perform, give you a snippet of who they are. I want some bars. I want some chords. Just a little bit. Just, I'm saying please, thank you in advance. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BigExposedRadio.com.
Oh, yeah. I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I know the weight is killing you. suspense is building. All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May 17th at 7 p.m., Talk Lately with me, Marnie, is back. We can get into the gossip, all the entertainment news, the politics, everything. It's open to interpretation, but I'm going to put a spin on it with my flair of funny. And it all goes down right here on BeExposedRadio.com, and we on YouTube. So get ready. You should already be ready.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up! Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Start now? Alright, so there's kind of a... So we're talking about folk music's role and kind of bringing attention to issues right now. And right now, I know like a bunch of people who have died of heroin recently. Like it's a really terrible growing epidemic right now.
It's true.
And I just wrote the song the other day. In this old town, folks are dying every day. Don't know how so many people find that needle in the hay. The sky is gloomy, them zombies in a haze. Oh Lord, get me out of this town. We got boots on the ground in Afghanistan, keeping them poppies growing in the land. To boats and planes, and death dealers' hands, oh Lord, get me out of this town. Bloody-toothed hyenas way at the top, prescribing addiction through lobbyists and doctors. And when that well of pills runs dry, patients trade for needles with tickets to die. Oh Lord, get me out of this town. ghostly on the corners, trying to get a fix. Looking pale and ghostly, aching and bewitched. And shady figures turning tales and tricks. Oh Lord, get me out of this town. My friend George, he died the other day. We were speaking hours before, now his lips are blue and gray. I'm afraid if this don't stop, there won't be no one left to say, oh Lord, get me out of this town.
Mr. Connor Brendan, is there a title to that song?
Working title, Lord, get me out of this town.
I like that. I really like that.
Really good.
How long have you been playing the guitar?
About 10 years.
Self-taught?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's a hard thing to learn.
Do you read music?
A little bit.
So we have Mr. Guy, who they say has bars. They say
bars,
it. They say it.
He got
but,
bars.
So
you know.
I'm just gonna kick something for y'all.
There we go.
But going along the lines of what he was saying. You're emotionless, kid, cause you caught a tight at opiates. But you don't come around no more, and every time I roll a spliff, I think about your downfall and how the family copes with it. Armed with anger, draped in pride, it's like you wore a coat of it. Stimulated thought is getting deeper than his baritone. Stuck without nowhere to go, some people ain't prepared to grow. Don't compare the rare with the debonair flow. Know the facts, broke cats with gats, prepared to air your dome, relax. Your bitch ass sweating out a pheromone. I burn my own L, and I ain't never wanna share the bone. B-roll actors on the fiend tip, Sharon Stone got the gift of giving you the clarity that's rarely shown. It's hands of a clock, see time is just saving grace, preparing for what awaits. A barrel of sour grapes, give it up or risk it all when the barrel is in your face. Due to knowledge, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Hey.
But I could give y'all more, but that's just a little taste.
Just a taste, no, because you gotta go to GuyGramsMusic.com.
That's right.
And download it and get that CD.
So-
We only give taste here. We only give taste, a little taste. We make them pay for it.
A little cup of tea, you know.
It's a verse that I have. So, it's actually off the Consigliere album. But it's a song that I have features on.
GuyGramsMusic.com.
Yeah, exactly. Spotify, CD Baby. All
There
that.
we go. There we go.
You know.
What's your dream venue? That's for both of you, or collaboration.
I don't know. I mean, I like to travel and play. I play shithole places to like big arenas. You know.
You like it more intimate, or you like the roaring crowd?
I mean, I like 5 or 5,000. It doesn't matter. But I mean,
He's a real artist right now.
You know, I like the bigger crowds. I mean, I guess like Madison Square Garden would be
Speak it. You got to put it out there. Speak that.
So, yeah, sometimes your tongue is your sword. You know,
Life
talking
and
into
death.
existence. You know,
It's power in the tongue, bro.
So you'll see us rocking at Madison Square
There we
Garden.
go. Just send me the link, and we gonna be there. We gonna be there.
Yeah.
Mr. Connor.
Yeah, I mean, same kind of thing. Like, if you're really connecting with the audience, then it's worth it.
Mhm.
You know. But my favorite venues to play have been places like Boulder Theater in Colorado. You know, my favorite places are just these just beautiful theater venues.
There we
There's
go.
like a Great American Music.
Have you ever
Hall,
played
San
at the
Francisco.
Agora?
No, I haven't.
I think it's in Ohio. But
Okay.
it's like a big theater place. It's probably one of my favorite places.
Yeah, those
to
are my
play.
favorite.
You've been on that stage.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's just something about those style of places. Like being actors, I'm a theater actor, so I love the acoustics, the environment, what it looks like, especially if it's like an older style theater with the balcony. I don't know. I love it.
Right. Like in Philly, like the Trocadero.
I didn't know. I haven't.
I'm an artist too.
But real quick, where do you? And are there any collaborations that you see in your future, or you're planning, or you would like to move forward?
Start with me. Yeah, I always do collaborations. I mean, I do solo work too, but I work with a lot of good artists.
Right.
And we always collaborate on different things. And even like being that I'm not a producer, even everything I do is kind of a collaboration because I get with different producers and we, put together, ideas and stuff. So yeah, it's always a collaborative process. Even though the creative, like my writing process, is something I do alone. It's like a solo thing. I'm still always collaborating with, and also that's fine because any job that you work, and not that I don't like the people that I work with, it's that like sometimes you have to learn how to deal with people, and in a work environment.
Everybody ain't what their Instagram says they are.
Right. So, but yeah, it's I always do collaborative things, and I'm open to that as well. So just with my time is more limited now, and I'm busy. So if people want to collab with me, I might charge them a little something, or make it worth my while, or do something. So it depends on what I'm doing. So.
Isn't any? But let's look at even like singers or a musician or a certain band you would think of wanting to collaborate with on a bigger level of some sort. They don't have to be like superstar, but just a band that you would love to sit in on,
or they would love to collab with you.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't passing the question. What y'all scared?
Were you pointing to each other?
Like cats, like stuff that I grew up listening to. I mean, I guess like the Wu-Tang Clan, or AZ or Nas or something like that. Guys that my two favorite rappers of all time are passed. So actually, Big L and Big Pun are my two favorite rappers of all time. They're my influence, and also rest in peace to Guru, because he's up there too. That's the greatest
you are a person that
MC.
listens to words.
Oh yeah,
because people didn't often listen to Big Pun's words a lot.
Oh yeah,
but he
the
really
syllabic
had it.
monster, with the syllabic choppy, crazy flows and all. So, but yeah, there's definitely a lot in that but so I've never have that opportunity, unfortunately, to collab with my idols that passed. So,
with the way things going now,
you can give it that hologram.
Right,
I'll rock with the hologram.
I got a feeling Big Pun is going to have his hologram.
It's going to be a big old hologram.
Yeah.
Big old hologram.
Hologram. Wait to it.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of collaborations over the years. I've been recording for 10 years and getting ready to release some music for sale, a few EPs, and one of the things is I've made these albums which are like folk odysseys, I call them. They're stories, they're patchwork stories from beginning to end, and in some cases a song has multiple singers. It's almost like a play in some ways, where I'll be like singing one character, someone else is singing another character, and then it all ties into this whole thing. So from that I've been collaborating with different singers. I'm looking at possibly bringing in Trevor Hall, this performer, on one of the songs, and some other people. One of my favorite people to collaborate is the singer Abigail Dempsey, and she's with this band Forlorn Strangers. They're incredible. Definitely check them out.
Have you heard of Cecilia Grace?
Yeah. We played together at one point.
I think because they're two sisters, so I think that's a nice blend too. Yeah. When I heard you, just the sound of it.
And I play most of the instruments on my recordings. But sometimes I gotta bring in people who are just way better than me.
Right.
And there's some people like this guy Rick, who plays keyboard on some of my stuff. This guy Mark, who plays incredible, just these melodic, like classical almost bass lines. And collaboration, I find it's really it's kind of a sacred thing in a way, because someone can bring out something that you never knew even was supposed to be in your song. But once you hear it, it's like
it has to be there.
It has to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So if now this is, I normally let this end, but I'm gonna do a little something different at the end of the show. Going into your youth, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
I guess I'll start. Honestly, I mean, follow your dreams and be passionate about whatever you do. But at the same time, doing music is probably not a sound financial career choice. So that's my advice to
if you're not willing to put
me.
in the work.
So straight up.
Yeah.
So
because even if you don't become like a superstar, you still can travel and do your music. But that requires more work. So if you're not ready to grind.
Right. So, but I'm just saying it's people think sometimes that's kind of a misconception with music. Like, since you were on the road, or since you it's like I have an album, people seem to think that you're doing really well, or that because you do music, or because you
or the exact opposite. You're
but
not
that's what
doing
I'm
well.
saying. So that's what my advice to my 17-year-old self is, that don't believe the hype, you know. So
Don't believe that.
taking it way back, but anyway, it's true though. It's true because you know, it's not like being an artist, whether you're a painter, a dancer, or a singer, an actor, or an MC or whatever. It's financially probably not a sound decision unless you're really ready to roll your sleeves up and dig in. That's some sound advice. So
you gotta
I mean,
love it.
so
if
you have.
if you're not doing it because you love it,
It's more
get
than
a job.
music.
Right.
Just
It's
get a
more.
job.
It's
You
more
know.
than music.
MTM.
More than music.
Mr. Connor?
I probably tell myself play more shows. You know, really focus like on.
Is that being prepared, or practice, or
That's
just get out
like
there?
Getting out there more. You know, I would tell my 17-year-old self, book way more shows than you're booking right now.
Wow.
Well, that's cool that you even booking at 17. Some people at 17 weren't booking shows. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I should have been playing more.
Have either of you tried the band thing, like the group
Yeah.
project? Did that work for you, or was it too much?
What often happens is like I'm usually the songwriter.
Okay.
It's actually
The man with the money. The man with the money.
In every case, I've been the songwriter, I've been the lead singer, and I've brought in other people. And the thing is, I really value what other people bring to the table.
Mhm.
I had one bandmate who's a bass player, and anytime like we learned a new song, he'd be like, "Well, I kind of think that we should be playing this chord here, but it's your song." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, you're right. All right,
Okay, got
it. You got it." You know, so it's really valuable, like, to have other people to like collaborative, but it's also really important to like take the ego out of it. To like not have too much attachment.
Because I wrote this song, and this is how this song is going to go.
Because I wrote it. And, you know, you gotta
sit back and collect your check.
Yeah, and then you gotta maintain that vision too. So there's this
a
balance.
Yeah.
And also,
have you thought about your Wu-Tang Clan?
Yeah, I've actually played with some bands, like done some live stuff with different bands and all, and I've talked about it. I always have a great time doing that. But me and my dude Ill Conscious, we talked about forming some type band thing and like some funk soul, just something like raw, that we rhyme over. I'm definitely open to doing that. Like I said, I've jammed with bands and stuff before, but at the same time too, like with what he was saying, I'm gonna say more of the negative end of it. It's hard enough sometimes, like doing this show, like having to get all these people together to come for the show. It's like when you have getting people, if you got 5 or 6 people in a band, right, everyone has a lady, a job, the kids, bills, their own issues. So getting people to practice, getting people to be available for certain weekends.
Stick to like 2 or 3.
Put the egos aside.
That's a good
the
number.
ego thing was a really good thing to say too, because throughout the creative process, when you collaborate with other people, they may say, go back to the drawing board with this, or we're going to do this, or I'm going to do that. Sometimes it's a give and take where it's like you need to leave your, have thick skin basically to say, you know what, that is probably better for the whole of the song. Or
but
the project.
communication up front helps all of that, because if you communicate from the get, then there's no like, well, this song is perfect. No, it's not. But if you communicate that we have that right to be able to chime in, then you have it. Or you like, well, I'm the songwriter. You play the song.
Right. And also, one of my main producers that I work with, he's like one of my toughest critics. Like I'm hard on myself, and I kind of know like what I want it to, but when I filter things through him, he's like, no, always like, and at times I did get mad, or we did butt heads where I'm like, this is great, and it's like, but I really appreciate him in a sense. Like I really love that I'm a tough critic, or like my worst critic, or own filter, and then I filter it through him, who's really tough. So by the time it gets to the public or someone else's ears, it's done filtered through. I'm confident in that it's solid.
There we go.
So
there we go.
Don't have a bunch of yes men around. You need people that are going to tell you what's going on around you.
The honest truth.
Yeah.
So don't surround yourself with too many people that are so agreeable all the time, you know?
So we're going to take a quick break, but before we go to that break, I'm going to let Melanie, that was TC, he did that. He added the D last night. We're going to let Melanie take us out with a poem. Kind of nervous.
All right, it's just a little extra, but not too much. So I told my ex that I was no longer impressed with him or his tired-ass imitation of sex. See, he forgot how to treat me, how to talk to me, how to touch me. I told him my body was stressed and my was so depressed that it was on Valium. I told him I needed time to breathe and needed some time for him to leave, but truthfully, I just wanted him to go and never come back. I told him there's no reason to come back here to pack because I already did that for you. I gave your stuff to your mother. It's at her house, up in your old room. To my girl, I said, please, bring a man to my bed. No talking, just screwing. Oh, and he's got to give, And that's what he did, right straight to my bed. Be safe, have fun, and don't forget to call when you're done, she said as I sat there and stared at the stranger in my bed. I tell him I'm scared. Please don't be, he says. I tell him I'm nervous. He tells me not to be. He'll never hurt me. Just lay back, relax. Let me ease your mind. I got you. And I'd be damned if every word he said wasn't true. Yo, he had me. The music was off. My clothes was off. My body was ready. And when he touched me, I saw hearts, stars, clovers, and gray moons. No, wait, shoot. That's Lucky Charms. No, that's what I saw. Let me find out he had me seeing cartoons. See, this man was the best. He was better than all the rest. He was all that and a bag of chips, a Slurpee, 2 sweet potato pies, and a gallon of ice cream. I mean, it was good. I had so much fun that night that my neighbors thought I was having a fight. It sounded like someone was killing me, and he was, but I didn't care. Just like I didn't care about my freshly done hair, and I didn't hear the phone or the door. Never felt the motion as the bed sailed across the floor as if we were on an ocean. But I'm bragging now, so I'm going to bring this to an end. Because the night is young, I'm having fun, and I know one thing. I can't wait until the end of the night. Because, see, he is here, and I am here, and he has allayed all my fears. And I want him. I need him, and standing up here staring at him is making me weak. So I'm going to go back to my seat, put my hand on his thigh, and let him know. I can't wait till the end of the night. See, I done bared my soul up here for y'all to see so that he can see that no matter how this started, it's still special to me. And with so much emotion wrapped up in the sex, it was so easy to fall. I just want you to know whenever I call, when you're inside of me, it's making love. It's not just a booty call. Remember, it's Sexy Sapphire, y'all.
So we're going to take a quick break and cool off, and we'll be right back on the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com with Mr. Connor and Mr. Guy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Check out this flashback. Because as you said, the school board, the sheriff's department, right? You want to be that change that you want to see, right? So if somebody's not representing your interest when it comes to your kids, your children, your legacy, your future, right? You got folk that don't go to one PTA meeting, don't know who their teachers are for your children, don't know where the classroom is located, don't know if there's an emergency action plan for the school when it comes to the fire drills or whatever drills they have.
Or even how they handle when assaults and serious crimes happen. How do they handle that? Are they obligated to notify the parent? Are they obligated to notify the police? Is a report done? You don't even know what's really going on. You'll hear schools in Montgomery County put out information to their parents a lot faster than you hear about schools in PG County. That last incident with PG County when there was a sexual assault of a minor child on a school bus, it took them a year and a half before they even brought it up to the parents.
A year and a half.
I'm sorry, I'm sitting here with a dumbfounded look on my face if you guys aren't watching. I just can't imagine how that's okay, how it's acceptable, how they were able to even get away with it.
They were able to do it because parents' participation is very low.
You can catch me Thursdays from 8 to 10 on the Denasha Harrison Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
The topic for today, movies and whether or not they have real life applications. And as Stello said, I was talking to him last night in the kitchen about this topic, and one of the movies I brought up was In Time.
Oh my God, get out my head.
That was that was one of the movies that I brought up.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We're going to shout out a couple people on our Facebook Live. Mr. Sharif Kwawi, I hope I didn't demolished that last name. He said, while most good artists don't get radio airplay in Baltimore, I think it should be stations or time slots for Baltimore artists. My man, he named artists I feel was the best. I hope someone will address that issue. They're online radio shows, so if you support online radio shows, you can get your message played, you can get your music played, you can get your voice heard, but you can't keep looking at the top radio show, the quote-unquote top radio show, as the end-all be-all to it. If you diversify yourself, Mr. Sharif, and go after radio shows like the Artist Exchange, come on, let's do an interview and I'll play your music. But don't overlook.
Baltimore artists don't want to spend no money on their stuff. They don't want to spend no money to promote their stuff. They act like they supposed to just get on radio when nobody knows who they are. Baltimore artists don't want to spend any money on actual marketing so that someone wants to call you and put you on the radio, or when you hit up somebody on the radio, they ready to put you on because you have a following. What good is putting you on my show if you have no following?
Exactly. Shout out to Mr. Rebel Radford. He been shouting out us. Kyle Harry says, what's up, God Grams? Sharif again, real talk. Don't believe that hype.
Don't believe the hype.
Shout out to Wayne Brown, and that's it. So, shout out to everybody that's listening on Facebook Live. Don't forget, share it out. Let your Uncle Charlie know, your Aunt May, your Mama June, all of them know what we're doing here on the Artist Exchange. We give you a platform every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. to open up. Come share your story. We let you promote yourself, play your music, do a live performance, but we want to get people to know who you are specifically, and allow people to learn who you are. In the time where money is tight, I may not have money for everybody's CD, but if I connect with Guy, if I connect with Connor's story, I'm going to support you. But we have to learn as artists to be more engaging, more inviting, more open. You ain't got to let the world in. You ain't got to shake everybody's hand, kiss everybody's baby, but tell your story, and don't be afraid to show who you are, your real self, not your Instagram self, not your Facebook self, but your real everyday self. So definitely feel free, come to the Artist Exchange, send us your music, so on and so forth. So this is the time where I give some last minute, talk, and let the artists give their last spew for the day. Any information you want to put out there, what you want people to know about you, and a couple words, if that's possible. Connor, Guy, Connor.
Just peace and respect to everybody. Just keep up with me. The best is yet to come, and I appreciate y'all for giving artists such as myself a platform.
Your blog that's coming soon, and your tour.
Yeah, tour stuff coming up in the works. So,
and your video blog.
Video blog coming soon. I'll be working on doing a video blog. So that's something new that I haven't done yet. So, but yeah, peace and respect to everybody listening, and you guys, Artist Compound.
There we go. Shout out.
And Connor.
Consigliere.
Consigliere.
That's the first time I would have gotten that correct. So I'm not going to say it again because then I'm going to mess it up.
Advisor to a mob boss or crime family.
The good boys, good fellas. Okay.
I'm Italian, so.
There we go. I kind of got a little hint from the name. Just a little hint. Also, he has another CD, his last CD, The Gateway Drug.
The Gateway Drug. That's on vinyl too.
There we
Chopped
go.
Heron Records.
If you go to GuyGramsMusic.com,
get all that.
You get all of that, and probably a lot more. Mr. Connor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting ready to release an album, booking more shows, getting some more out of town dates like New York City. Looking at playing at Rockwood Music Hall again soon, playing at the Bitter End, June 4th. There's a Love Light Festival, Camp Ramblewood, August 19th
Have you
through
been
21st.
Love Light? I have not, but I've promoted for it in the past. So I'm excited. Good for you.
I'm going to try it this year. I'm only doing one day. I can't do the whole weekend this time. That's a lot on my outdoor experience. But one day. I'm going to come one day.
Yeah,
so let me know what day you perform, and I'll definitely come up.
Yeah, and you can keep up with me you up there. You can keep up with me. Yeah, right there. You can keep up with me if you go to ConnorBrendan.com, CONORBRENDAN.com. You can join my mailing list. You'll get any info about new shows and recordings coming out, which we got some new stuff in the works for you. Really excited about that.
There we go.
And just reminder, just keep focusing local. Do what's in your heart, and if what's in your heart is some local activism, I support you. Vote with your dollar.
Oh, he said it. So to close us out, I like a game called The Machine. So in theater, it's a theater exercise that kind of warms everybody up, and you can throw out either a line, a sound, a chord, and then everybody joins the machine. So one person starts it off, and then everybody joins in, and then there's a symphony that happens at the end.
I had a couple mimosas at brunch. What did you just say?
What happens is, it's called The Machine. So you can say a line from a poem, your favorite catchphrase.
Oh, it's like one of them, just
or
everybody adds something.
right, and everybody adds something and creates something.
Yeah, I had all of them.
You gotta make. You gotta.
It's hard and stuff.
I like to
Say
put you
everybody
on the
adds
spot.
All right, well, you start then.
There we go. What should I say? I did. I really did. I've never put on the spot.
As well?
Anything. So we'll let Mr. Hollywood
King
start.
Hollywood Hall. You can follow me on Instagram at King Hollywood Hall. But, I would say my own quote: "Success is behind your consistency and determination."
And you gotta keep saying it.
Oh, success is behind your determination. 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 You want me to turn this into a song?
Yeah.
Success is behind your determination. Success is behind your determination. Success is behind your determination. You keep going?
Yeah.
When y'all gonna join in?
We go. Everybody go join in.
Success is behind your determination.
Too hard of an exercise.
Yeah, I think he gonna make us all want to fight.
Success is behind your determination.
So just find your
Success
groove.
is behind your determination. Success 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 is behind your determination.
Follow your dreams and you can be anything you want.
Success is behind.
Just follow your dreams. You can be anything you want.
Success is behind your
determination.
Follow your dreams. You can be anything you want.
You only get out what you put in.
Follow your dreams. You can be anything you want.
You only get out what you put
Follow
in.
your dreams. You can be anything you want.
You only get out what you put in.
Follow your dreams. You can be anything you want.
You only get out what you put in.
Follow your dreams. You can be anything you want.
You only get out what you put in.
This has been another episode of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Definitely tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Thank you, Artist Compound. Thank you, Melody Hill. Thank you, Guy Grams. Thank you, Connor.
Follow your dreams. You can be anything you want.
Peace out.
Much love to the world.
Definitely not taking responsibility for other people's emotions and things that's going on, and owning up to who you are.